Who is not loud. It does not try to impress you quickly. But once you slow down, you begin to understand it. Who is a city of memory? A city of walls, rivers, tombs, and silence. And behind that quiet beauty, there is the story of Vietnam's last imperial capital. Today, we explore Hue through history, culture, and atmosphere. Not just as a travel destination, but as a place that once stood at the center of royal power in Vietnam. Ho feels quiet, reflective, and deeply historical. Hue is located in central Vietnam. It was once the capital of the Nguyen dynasty. For more than a century, Hue was the political, cultural, and spiritual center of the country. This is where emperors ruled, and that imperial identity is still visible today. Hue is often called Vietnam's last imperial city. That title matters. Ho is not simply an old capital. It was the final royal capital before Vietnam entered a very different modern era. When you walk through Hue, you are seeing the last chapter of Imperial Vietnam. At the heart of Hue stands the Imperial City, walled, ordered. Symbolic. This was the center of royal life, a city within a city. It held palaces, gates, temples, courtyards, and ceremonial spaces. Nothing here was random. Everything reflected order and power. Hue's architecture does not shout. It speaks through balance, through gates, roofs, walls, stone paths, and open courtyards. The details matter here. Colors matter, placement matters, direction matters. Hue feels less like a tourist site and more like a language of memory. One of the most unforgettable parts of Hue is its royal tombs. These are not simple graves. They are landscapes of memory. Many Nguyen emperors designed their tombs during their lifetimes. The tombs are poetic, but also political. Beautiful, but also symbolic. They show how Hue understood legacy. Hue is not only about emperors and monuments. It is also one of Vietnam's richest cultural centers. Hue is known for court music, temple culture, royal customs, and a slower, more restrained way of life. There is a softness in Hue, but also a quiet formality. This city does not ask loudly for attention. It opens slowly. No story about Hue is complete without the Perfume River. The river is not just scenery. It is part of the city's identity. It adds softness to Hue's imperial weight. It brings movement to stone and poetry to history. Without the Perfume River, Hue would still be historical. But it would not feel the same. What makes Hue memorable is not only what you see, it is what you feel. There is a softness to the city, a slowness, a kind of quiet dignity. Rain feels right in Hue, moss feels right in Hue. Old walls, wet stone, fading colors, and tree shadows all seem to belong here. Hue is a city built for depth. He is a place to experience slowly. Walk through the citadel without rushing. Stand still at a gate, watch the river. Visit a royal tomb not only to look, but to feel the atmosphere around it. Hue teaches you that travel does not always need to be loud to be unforgettable. And before we leave Hue, just one small taste of the city. One of its most famous dishes is bun bo hue. Rich, fragrant, and full of character. Like the city itself, it has depth, a dish with identity. And that feels right for Hue. Hue matters today because it reminds us that history is not only something we read, it is something we move through, something we hear in music, something we see in old walls, something we feel in the atmosphere of a place. Hue does not belong only to the past. It still speaks in the present, quietly but clearly. Hue is beautiful, yes, but beauty is only the beginning. What makes Hue unforgettable is the way it carries history. In its walls, its gates, its river, its silence, its memory. Hue is not a city you simply visit. It is a city you absorb. If you enjoy travel stories told through history and culture, subscribe to Adida Travel Stories. We begin with Vietnam and continue to the world beyond. See you in the next story.